Today we're going to talk about the relationship of a line to another line and its relationship to the curve, which will lead us to the idea of pi with the symbol of this. And so the symbol of pi is basically a relationship of these two ideas, which is a line and a curve. Let me just remind you that when you were in the primary years, we always tend to relate one object to another, one measurement to another. So let's compare one line and another. So, for example, we have this line here. Let's measure it in inches. We have that line. Yes. Oof, not very good. Anyway, we have that line, and that measurement of that is basically 5 inches. And we have another line, which is essentially this. Now the question is, what is the relationship of the red line, which is 2 inches, to the black line, which is 5 inches? So this is 5 inches, and this is 2 inches. So another way of asking this is, how long would the red line fit into the black line? That's a question, and that is a relationship. How many reds would go into the black line? So you could just look at, with my finger here. Yeah, that's, you could see it, but I 1, 2, and a bit. Yeah, I mean, in numbers, the question you could ask this is, with this is, how many 2's goes to 5? Yeah, or 5 divided by 2, right? And or in fractions it's called 5 over 2, and your answer would be 2.5. If you get a calculator, your answer would be that way. And so the relationship of the red line to the black line is summed up with this answer. It's 2.5. Yeah. So how many times the red goes to the black one is essentially called 2.5. And that number denotes that relationship. And we have lots of these exercises when you were young, so I'm not going to give you more. Let's go on to the next one. What about comparing um, a line to a curve? And this is what we're going to do. Well, the great representative of a curve is this. Let's draw a curve like this. It's not perfect, but that's better. And then we locate the center. The center is around here. And we draw a line from one end of the circle to another end of the circle, passing through the center. And what do you call that? What do you call that object? We call that a diameter. So here we have a straight line and a curved line represented by the circle. And in here we have a straight line and another straight line. And the relationship is basically the red line goes to the black line 2.5 times. Now, the question in here would be how many red lines, which is how many of this diameter, could go around the black line? And that is essentially a big question that has a lot of answers through time. The answers change through time, and we're going to go through that. So, how do we measure the curved line, the circle? For now, as an introduction, we're going to measure it in a way by putting a string around it. So I have this string that goes around. Let me just do it that way, this way. I hope you can see that string. It's not easy. So we put a string. It's not going to be really accurate, but it will do for now. It will serve our purpose. So there you go. So I'm going to mark it in here and cut it just right here. Ah, such trouble with. There you go. That took longer, but yes, just right. Just right. So that line, this thread goes around the circle. Yeah. So we do that and we make the thread into a straight line. I hope it fits the whole thing. There you go. It's not very clear because of the lighting system. It's not very clear at all. Okay, with less light. Okay, so that is the curved. Yeah. So this curve used to be going around the circular object. So I'm just going to delineate the end to end bit. Yes. So we start with the curve with a point in here and ends up with, oh, you can't see it, so let's move the point in here up higher. Yes, I didn't realize I there you go, and there you go. It's really very long, you can barely see it. Anyway, we're going to measure that from here one end to another. I'm going to measure that from here. The 0, oh, it's just it's like 12.1 or something. Yeah. So that's from 0 to the end. So it's really like 12.2. Yeah. The whole measurement of this is 12.2. So then we measure the diameter. We also measure the diameter in inches. From one end all the way here, it's 3. You see, 3.9. Yeah, so it's approximate measurement is 3.9 inches and 12.2 inches. Yes, inches. Maybe I'll write the whole thing. So we asked how many diameters would go in a circle? Well, this is the length of the circle. Yeah, really transformed into a straight line. And then we said this red line goes to the black line. Yeah, this red line here of 2 inches. Yeah, can fit into this black line 2.5 times. We asked the same question in here. This red line would fit around the circle, yeah, yeah, which is really this, yeah. How many times? So the question would be length of the circle, length of the circle, let's say, length of the circle over diameter. Yes. And here, what's the length of the circle is 12.2. Well, I have to make sure you can see that. It's 12.2 divided by diameter of 3.9. So, I'd like you to get your calculators. I have a calculator here because it's just so useful. So, we have 12.9. Wait, it's 12.2 divided by 3.9. Your answer is 3.128. Yeah, that's your answer. It's 3.128. So the relationship of the diameter to the length of the circle is 3.128. Now, there's a special terminology for the length of the circle. Yes? Yes, and that terminology is called circumference, which is basically called by C. Yeah? That C means circumference over diameter. Now, but this number here, yeah, which means the diameter goes into the circle 3.128 times, yeah, yeah, it has a special name and it's called pi, yeah, or the symbol pi. So pi, or this one, is basically circumference over diameter. And through time, yeah, this is our result, but the exact number would be 3.14. Let's just keep it like this. This is what we use in schools every day. So, what I'd like you to do really is to get three objects of this. It could be a plate, it could be the top, the lid of a glass. Get two. Let's just say, okay, let's make it three objects, and I want you to measure the diameter. So basically, you got three objects like this. You trace it, and yeah, get a thread, yeah, and wrap it across and cut it and put it in a straight line, and measure the diameter and the length or the circumference. I want you to do that with three objects because in this way you are able to get an experience of what pi is. Yeah, so those of the way I did it in here, I want you to do the same with a different object. And this will really help you understand what pi means. So pi is basically, yeah, just is the answer of how many times the diameter goes around the circle. So please do the homework because that is so important. Yeah, that we get an experience, and this is probably the only time you'll ever do this kind of activity, and it's not easy to do it in books. So homework is get three objects, get the circumference, yes, and diameter through measuring it, and then divide the circumference with the diameter, and you'll get pi, yeah, which is really this number. Yeah. That is the relationship of a line to the curved line in a circle. I hope you learn, and we'll continue in the next episode.